Hello everyone, it is Jess and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, I really appreciate it. I am here, my first proper book issue video in quite a few months, with a book haul. This is quite a big book haul actually. I have quite a lot of books to show you guys. This is probably, most definitely actually going to be the last book haul video I do this year. 2021 has just gone so fast, which is really hard to believe because it's pretty much been the same as 2020, you know. It's been it's not been as rubbish, but yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I have some pre-orders that I want to show you, some books that I had bought for me, and then some second-hand books that I got myself, and some books that I was given by friends. So a bit of a mix of everything. Hopefully this video will not be too long. Without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into it. So I am actually gonna start with this pile of pre-orders. So these are books that I had pre-ordered previously in the year, and these have all come through within the last couple of months. Most of them I think I got in October. I'm very excited to get to all of these books. Let's just get this out of the way now, because I say that all of the time, but you know, it is true. I'm sorry if you can hear that, by the way. That is my boiler. It is a very frustrating boiler. Never works properly and it likes to make a lot of noise. So we'll try and ignore that. But yeah, so pre-orders. The first one that I'm going to show you is this cute little edition of Women Don't Owe You Pretty. This is the small edition. I think it's a Waterstones exclusive edition. I got all of these pre-orders, by the way, I got from Waterstones, but this is just a very small edition of this book that I have been wanting to read for some time. This is a feminist non-fiction book. It kind of challenges the outdated narratives supplied to us by the patriarchy. It will help you to embrace feminism in all its messy glory, explain that you are the love of your own life, and remind you that you owe men nothing, least of all pretty. So I'm really excited to, there's that word again, to get to this one. And it's only like 80 or something pages long. I don't know if it's like a cut down version of the original edition. It might be, so I might have to get that one as well, just so I can get the full scope of what this book is trying to say. But yeah, really happy with this one. Next we have The Haunting Season, Ghostly Tales for Long Winter Nights, and this is just a collection of spooky short stories. So we've got stories here by Kieran Millward Hargrave. I have read one of her books, The Deathless Girls, and I enjoyed that one. We've got Jess Kidd. We've got stories by Imogen Hermes Gowor, Natasha Pulley. Some of these people I've not heard of, but yeah, I love a good spooky ghost story. And there's some stories that are set in Covent Garden at Christmas in London, the frosty moors of Yorkshire, a London mansion. Just sounds like a bit of a mix, and also the beautiful sprayed edges on that. And I remember taking the dust, oh, it's not this book. There is a book, I think it's this next one, that has a beautiful pattern under the dust jacket. That was embarrassing. So next is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This one I didn't know anything about. I just pre-ordered it because of the title, but I think this is the one with the, yeah, this is the one with the really pretty design under the dust jacket. Look how beautiful that is. But this one is all about a girl called Evangeline Fox. She's always believed in happily ever after until she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another and her dreams are shattered. Desperate to stop the wedding and heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. So I guess it's kind of like a dark, twisted fairy tale, and I guess it has something to say about how women are treated by some men in society, and it talks about feminism and misogyny and things like that. I'm not too sure, but I've seen this floating around actually on the internet quite a lot. People seem to be really enjoying this one, so I'm interested to see what I think of it. It's not something that I would normally go for, but again, the title just really caught my eye. Next we have Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao, and I'm so excited for this book. I've heard incredible things about it. This is, what is it? It's like a sci-fi Chinese retelling of like a Chinese ancient empress or something. There's giant transforming robots that battle the aliens beyond the Great Wall. And there's female co-pilots who are expected to serve as concubines and sacrifice their lives. And there's an 18-year-old. She becomes one of those pilots, and she wants to assassinate the ace male pilot responsible for her sister's death. Just sounds like there's a lot going on that I'm gonna love. I have been really enjoying a lot of Chinese fiction and Chinese fantasy this year. The Poppy War is a really good example of that. I absolutely loved that book. There was just so much detail in it, and it was just so unique and so different, and I think this one is going to be the same. It's got a very interesting premise, and this cover as well. Oh my gosh, this cover is just absolutely to die for. So I'm so looking forward to getting to this one. I might try and squeeze it in before the end of this year. I don't know, I'm not making any promises, but given that I've heard amazing things about this, I just need to get to it as soon as. And then last of the pre-orders is a book that I pre-ordered back in March, I think, so it was quite some time ago, and I've just been dying to get my hands on it ever since. It's The Apollo Murders by Chris Hadfield. This is a signed edition from Waterstones, and I absolutely adore Chris Hadfield. I've read a few of his non-fiction works. I read his book, An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, which is kind of like his autobiography, but he also talks about how thinking like an astronaut can apply to your daily life as well, and I thought that was so interesting. But he has written a fiction book. So Chris Hadfield is a Canadian astronaut. He spent some time on the International Space Station. You might know him as the guy that did the Space Oddity video, David Bowie's Space Oddity video on the International Space Station. It went viral. But yeah, he has written a space thriller, and it is, I think it's set during the Cold War. Basically, there's like this mission, this Apollo mission that is taking place, and there are 3 astronauts going up into space, and I believe someone gets murdered, and it's kind of like a whodunit but in space. I'm not sure, but it just sounds so good. I actually bought this book for my boyfriend's brother for Christmas as well, because I feel like it's something he would enjoy, so maybe we could read it together in the new year. But yeah, I'm so ready to get into this one. Okay, so those are all the pre-orders out of the way, but I'm also going to talk about some books that my boyfriend bought me quite recently, actually. In November, we went back to London for a special occasion, and we went to Harrods. So I've never been to Harrods before. It's not really my thing. I wouldn't go again, but you know, Harrods is famous, and it's one of those things that you kind of just do when you're going to London. But they have a bookshop, obviously, and my boyfriend bought me 2 books from the bookshop. And the first one is Stephen King's Doctor Sleep. So this is the sequel to The Shining. I don't really know what it's about because I've not read The Shining, so I'm not going to read the back because I don't want to spoil myself. I mean, I kind of know what The Shining is about because of the movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I kind of know. But yeah, this is the new Hodder editions that were released quite recently, and I love the covers. So I have The Shining in this edition, and now I've got Doctor Sleep. So yeah, he got me that one, and then he also got me one of the most beautiful books I have ever seen. And yeah, I've never seen this edition before, but it is Dracula by Bram Stoker. So this is like what, my 4th edition of Dracula now, but this is an edition that I have never seen before. So this is by Chiltern Publishing, and this is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, I can see the reflections in the sunlight just like dancing away on the wall, but it is just absolutely stunning, and it was quite expensive. I love the entire look and feel of this book. But yeah, they have quite a few classics in there. I know they had some stuff by Jane Austen, they had Frankenstein, they had some Charles Dickens, they had a variety of stuff, but of course I had to get Dracula because it is my favourite novel, and I just want to have as many different editions of it as I can. So there we go. Okay, so now I am going to show you some books that I got second hand. I did a food shop at my local co-op back in October, and I was only intending to come out with a food shop, but they had a little table at the end of the shop that had a lot of books on it. So of course I had to go and have a peruse, and I came out with 3 books. So basically all we had to do, it was for charity, so all I had to do was just put in a donation. So I donated £5 and I came out with 3 books. So I got The Split by Sharon Bolton. This is a thriller that I have seen around quite a lot. People seem to have really enjoyed this one. I think I will enjoy that one. It's not in the best condition, but you know, I didn't pay a lot for it, so it doesn't matter. And then I also got The Therapist by B.A. Paris. So I've read 2 books by B.A. Paris before. I read Behind Closed Doors, which I really, really liked. That was a domestic thriller about a woman who was being abused by her husband. And then I also read Bring Me Back, which I hated. It was just so predictable, and the unreliable narrator thing in that book just didn't work. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this one. I'll either love it or hate it, but again, this is another one that I have seen knocking about quite a lot, and people have been enjoying. And then I also picked up An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. This is one that I'm not sure if it's for me. It is something very much out of my comfort zone. But Barack Obama has read it, and he says it's a moving portrayal of the effects of a wrongful conviction of a young African American couple. And Barack Obama has amazing taste in books, so I trust him. The next 8 books that I'm going to show you are all books that I got from my boyfriend's brother. We went to his house for tacos one Thursday night. I think it was literally just before Halloween, and he had a bunch of books that he was trying to get rid of. So I was like, I'm going to have a look through them because, you know, it's not like I don't have enough books already. And yeah, I came back with 8 books. So the first one that I picked up is Luna New Moon by Ian MacDonald, and I've never seen this book before, but the first line on the blurb says, "The moon wants to kill you." So I'm pretty much sold on it already. I love sci-fi. I need to read more of it. I don't read enough of it right now, and I just want to get back into it, but this one just sounds really, really cool. Then I picked up Talking with Serial Killers, a chilling study of the world's most evil people by Christopher Berry D. I know he also did a book, I think it was like Talking with Psychopaths, which I also want to read. This one has been on my TBR for quite a while, and I know my boyfriend's brother really recommended this one. He really, really enjoyed it. This is a non-fiction book, and it's about serial killers and how they think and how they justify what they did and stuff like that. I have this weird morbid fascination with serial killers and true crime. I think a lot of people can relate to that, because I don't understand why someone would do that, you know? What would drive somebody to do that? And I know there are a myriad of different reasons, so this is going to be a very insightful read for me. A book that I have never heard of, but caught my eye, is Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. Heinlein? I don't know, but I've never heard of this book. But I did Google it, and this book is it was considered very controversial when it was first published. I love books that are considered controversial, not because I am a controversial person, but because I love to read things that challenge different views, that kind of challenge like what's deemed acceptable. And yeah, this book is described as epic and entertaining, blasphemous, and is the most influential and controversial of science fiction novels. And I think it has a lot to do with religion, and it goes against like Christianity and things. I'm not sure, but just knowing that it upset some people sold it to me. But this is set in the future, and it follows a character called Valentine Michael Smith, who is an orphan child to two astronauts killed in space, and he has been raised on Mars. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this book, but I'm really, really intrigued by it. It's not the best cover design in the world, and I don't know what is going on with the text. But yeah, I was told it was good. So another chunky book here is The Likeness by Tana French. So I have seen a lot of Tana French around on the internet, in the bookish community. I can't talk right now, but I actually haven't read anything by Tana French. This is a standalone novel. I think this is a thriller, and it is about a detective who starts a relationship with a fellow detective who has the same name as that actor, Sam O'Neill, and he calls her to the scene of his new case. So she is shocked to find the murdered girl is her double. What's more, her ID shows she is Lexi Madison, the identity Cassie used years ago as an undercover detective. Sounds amazing. I've heard incredible things about Tana French. She has been on my TBR list for quite some time now. Very happy to finally have one of her books in my hands. Next, we have a bit of vampire fiction, because we all know that I love some vampire action. The Saga of Darren Shan Vampire Blood Trilogy. I've never heard of these books before. I'm surprised, because it sounds like something I would have loved when I was younger. So Darren Shan is an ordinary schoolboy, but his life as an ordinary schoolboy is over. And it's got these 3 books in it. So in the first one, he strikes a deal with a creature of the night that will change his life forever. In the second, he joins the vampire ranks, but fights the urge to drink human blood. And then in the last book, Darren will need all the luck of the vampires to defeat a savage enemy. Who is this by? I don't actually know who this book is by. Or is Darren Shan the author? I assume Darren Shan is the author and he's kind of named the character after himself. I have absolutely no idea. Oh, it's got spiders in it. I best not show that to my boyfriend because he will freak out. I don't know what is going on with this book and who it is written by. I think it is written by Darren Shan, who's named the character after himself. But yeah, I feel like I will really enjoy these ones. Then I have The Power by Naomi Alderman. So I've seen this book everywhere. I never really thought it'd be something that I would enjoy because, I don't know, I got like historical fiction, World War II vibes from the cover. But actually it's not that at all. It is about a world where all of the women have the power and they can inflict terrible pain and death upon anyone they like. And every man on the planet finds they've lost control. And it sounds quite interesting. It sounds like a different take on the patriarchy. And what is it? The matriarchy for women? I'm not really sure. But yeah, that is an example of don't judge a book by its cover. But yeah, I'm so excited for this one. It sounds so unique and interesting. I do actually have a book that is World War II inspired, and that is Fatherland by Robert Harris. And the byline at the top is, "What if Hitler had won?" And I love things that are about like alternative histories and what ifs, you know, what if World War II didn't happen, or what if the Queen had died, you know, in the 70s, and just stuff like that. I love it all. I find it so interesting. And this one is set in April 1964. The naked body of an old man floats in a lake on the outskirts of Berlin. In 1 week, it will be Adolf Hitler's 75th birthday. And a terrible conspiracy is starting to unravel. But this is just about like, what if Germany had won the war? And it kind of reminds me of The Man in the High Castle. So yeah, very intrigued by this one. And then the last book on this list, thank you for sticking with me if you got this far, is a spooky book. A book that will surely give me nightmares, I hope, is Slender Man. Now, weirdly, this book doesn't have an author attached to it. I can't find it inside the book anywhere. So that's very intriguing and it adds a bit more mystery to it. But I am going to go and Google it after this and just see if I can find an author. And if I do, I will put it down the bottom for you. But this is, it follows a girl who has disappeared and her friends and the police are searching for answers. And there's this guy called Matt Baker who begins to dream of trees and black skies and something drawing closer. Through fragments of journals, blog posts and messages, a sinister, slender figure emerges, and all divisions between fiction and delusion, between nightmare and reality, begin to fall. I wish I had had this book at the beginning of October, because this would have been a perfect book to read. But, you know, I am so keen to get to this one, and I feel like I might just read it now, to be fair. I'm going to abandon all of my current reading plans and get to this one. But again, it's in a very interesting format of like blog posts and letters and diary entries and text messages and things. And yeah, I'm very, very intrigued by this one. Everyone has heard of the Slender Man. and the Slender Man is always just so creepy. So I'm not sure if I am ready for this one. We'll see. Okay guys, we've reached the end of my book haul. I have no more new books to show you, so I am going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for watching. It has been so nice to be back in front of the camera and talking about books I am looking forward to reading with you guys. Please feel free to let me know if you've read any of the books I've talked about in today's video and what you thought of them, if there are any books that you think I would really enjoy, or if there are any books that you think I should steer clear of. Then, you know, don't be afraid to let me know. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. I don't know when my next video is going to be up, but hopefully it will be soon. I don't have any solid plans yet, but yeah, there we go. So please leave a cheeky thumbs up if you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos from me in the future. And having said all of that, I will see you in my next video very soon, I hope. Bye guys.